Coming up on today's After News, the Hulk Hogan biopic has been cancelled.
A controversial WWE release makes a shock wrestling return.
A TNA star has been arrested.
And Tony Khan on Shaq's insane AEW disappearance.
I'm Adam Wilborn.
I'm Michael Hamflett.
And this is the After News. So you remember ages ago there was all this talk about Chris Hemsworth, star of Thor and other films, being involved in a Hulk Hogan biopic.
Yep.
I believe as well, Todd Phillips, the director of The Brilliant Joker, was going to be involved, or was hopefully going to be involved as well, involved in the script and stuff like that. It's not happening anymore. Todd Phillips himself told Variety, I love what we were trying to do, but that's not going to come together for me. Hulk Hogan on the brilliant Chris Van Vliet podcast, one of the best podcasts out there, genuinely. That's not ours though. Talked about it being scrapped, saying it was a situation where business-wise, Netflix, Netflix was going to be involved as well. I should have mentioned that. Netflix kind of missed the date as far as a business situation. I had a choice at that time, switching gears. My life rights and stuff are somewhere else now. A lot of things that are getting ready to happen. Hopefully, director Todd Phillips and Chris Hemsworth will still want to play. There's a huge opportunity there. You sense now there'll be even less encouragement to follow through on this, though, with Hulk Hogan's recent, how do I say this, awful comments surrounding presidential candidate Kamala Harris and her ethnicity, basically.
Yeah.
Top dollar, AJ Francis, of course, from TNA, tweeted, it's consistently so embarrassing as a black man and a wrestler when people ask me who my favourite wrestler was when I started watching wrestling as a kid. I have to admit it was Hulk Hogan. He quote tweeted the video of Hogan's comments along with that. And to add injury to insult, in fact, there's a report recently that a 50-year-old woman was injured on Monday night at a promotional event featuring Hulk Hogan in Medina Township after she was struck on the head by a beer can. The world-famous wrestler was there apparently promoting his new beer brand, Real American Beer, and there are indications it could have been a beer can thrown by Hulk Hogan, allegedly.
Yeah, from the stage, are they saying? Is that like from the crew or something like that?
So it was either him or a crew member throwing beers from the stage like a baseball pitch. Why you do that with beer cans, I have no idea. But to be honest, I'm kind of glad that this biopic's not happening anymore right now.
Yeah, there was a story I think me and Phil were on it talking about a couple of weeks ago where there's going to be a film made apparently about the Gorka trial.
Yes.
And obviously that brought, you might have seen the Netflix documentary about Gorka being brought down in part due to Hulk Hogan's lawsuit. Well, mainly entirely down to that. But what that sort of revealed about Hulk Hogan was far worse for Hulk Hogan's reputation than anything Gorka could have revealed on a sex tape. Ultimately, the comments that he made there. We're not going to quote, you can find them if you particularly want to, we're not going to quote what Hogan said in this latest thing, but Hulk Hogan, not a great guy with not great views, is no longer news for us to aggregate at this point, is it? It's just all the more, to Top Dollar's point, all the more disappointing for people that still want to, I guess, enjoy his memory as a wrestler, or the people that he influenced, or all that sort of thing. Look, arguably the most famous, arguably the most influential, all of those things, and the fact that he is proving time and time again to not be the greatest of guys can both be true simultaneously. I hope that doesn't come across like I'm talking around it, because I like to think my feelings on someone like a Hulk Hogan are perfectly clear. But he's going to be one of them, isn't he? He's going to continue to kind of lean into this. Now, I did say he made some comments and he was like, "Oh, that's the beer talk, and I'm going to get heat for that." And it's like, it reminds me of that story that came out about the apology backstage in WWE, where he said, "Guys, people are recording, you're going to get caught," and it's like, that's not what you're supposed to be saying sorry for.
That's not what you're in trouble for.
You're supposed to be saying sorry for the things you think and have said, not the...
There's a reason why we're having to send out the lovely Titus O'Neil with you to try and counteract the booze at WrestleMania.
And it didn't work, and shout out to the socially distanced crowd at WrestleMania 37 for that one as well.
Shout out to Titus O'Neil as well. He was in the crowd on SmackDown on Friday. He's got a new book coming out all about fatherhood.
Just a great guy. But that's
good dude.
But I'm not surprised Titus O'Neil has done a book about fatherhood. Just following recently your son's first birthday. Feels like smart corporate synergy, if you ask me. Switching gears, I guess, because I was trying to come up with something to do with corporate synergy, and unless this is going to be on her absolutely minted various OnlyFans and OnlyFans adjacent accounts, there's not corporate synergy to be found, because Mandy Sachs, I guess we should call her now, is making a return to wrestling. A very controversial release back in late 2022. She kind of lost the title out of nowhere, I guess, to Roxanne Perez on NXT. The match was scheduled, but it was brought forward to television. I was like, oh, that's very strange. You've just ended the run of the longest reigning NXT champion ever. And then just days and weeks later, the news of her release and the news of the circumstances of her release and all the money she was making from like stuff outside of pro wrestling. From obviously fan-generated content and all that sort of stuff. She was making herself a millionaire multiple times over without needing to fall on her back for a living. More power to her. But like a much-missed figure in pro wrestling, Mandy Sachs.
Loved the angle with Otis as well back in the day.
And she's been promoted for Black Label Pro. They've got a show on the 4th of September. She's entered the DK Wrestling Combine. So how much exactly she will get involved physically, I guess we won't know till the day. But yeah, this is her first proper, I guess, like out front wrestling appearance beyond things like conventions and the like since the last time we saw her on NXT. So it'll be interesting to see physically how much she gets involved, how much she still wants to wrestle. This would suggest at least she's keen to keep a hand in, I guess, and why not? You know, why not if you sort of a figure like a Mandy Rose and Mandy Sachs being able to sort of go and make multiple revenue streams. But I just think the kind of eyes of the world are going to be on this one because she has waited it out. She has sat back and waited. You know, there's been no sort of AEW move, as some presumed. There's been no appearance in TNA, which I guess would be a sideways door back into NXT currently based on that ongoing relationship. So yeah, fair play to Mandy Sachs. It doesn't surprise me in the slightest that she is able to go and earn across multiple ways. Fair play to her.
Interesting, yeah, if she does end up back in NXT, considering what another member of Toxic Attraction, whose name... Oh, JC Jane. She's got her own stable now.
Back to winning ways.
Have you seen the name of this?
No.
It's better than Pure Fusion Collective, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Which is the Ministry of Darkness.
I had it right there.
Fatal Influence. That's her, Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix.
Which totally doesn't work because when she was part of Chase U, they were more successful than ever. So if anything, it's the kind of opposite.
Rich Holland's come in and bloody work wonders for them as well.
Yeah, like Jasmine Nix has had a great run so far. They kind of got like as a sort of NXT legends at this point. They've kind of got them back on track.
Yeah, they're all in their 20s, by the way. As these rugged.
Yeah. Been around the block once or twice. You know, I respect a business backstage in this locker room that we all stand in front of when we go man every week in our one NXT segment. Ask questions about the old Heartbreak Chef.
NXT is the absolute best.
Kind of should watch it, I have to confess. Yeah.
Shout out to Joe Hendry, as always, of course.
Yeah, he's got the title shot No Mercy, isn't he? Excuse me, title shot, I forgot the name of the show. The title shot where?
Well, I'm astonished that it's not in Lyon because it's NXT No Merci.
Thank you for that.
Tony D's going to dethrone Obafemi. He's going to end the streak.
I was at the Alton Towers Hotel earlier this week. There's none of that.
No.
Not a thing of it. It's lifts with jingles. You pay a lot for that.
Right, going to move on to some sad news now surrounding a TNA star who's unfortunately been arrested. Rich Swann, the report's just coming out now that he was arrested back in June 8th in Altamont Springs and charged with disorderly public intoxication, causing a disturbance, a misdemeanor offence. I read the report just to give a bit of a summary. He's basically intoxicated. He's trying to get into a house. He thinks it's his house, according to reports. It's not. People inside are obviously terrified. They draw a gun. He runs away and runs off to the woods and what have you. All this stuff. I suppose the only shining light at the end of this tunnel, apparently Swann is now entering a substance abuse rehab program. This according to Post Wrestling, who was told by that by TNA on Wednesday. Company first learned of Swann's address when Post Wrestling contacted them on Monday for comment. Never nice to hear this about a wrestler, and best luck that he gets all the help that he needs.
Yeah, I would really heartily recommend it, as is often the case when we're talking about the real stories that we aggregate here. The post-wrestling story, I think written up by Brandon Thurston for Post as well. It's a must-read, so it goes into detail about what's currently happened, but also the prior situations that have occurred in Rich Swann's life and everything that's kind of led to this, some stuff that wasn't made public, but again, they do fantastic work. Proper journalists. Ultimately, we are mere grubby aggregators who have a bit of fun with this, which is, apart from the OTJ, of course.
One true journalist right here, baby.
Throw the ones up for the OTJ. But it's a worthwhile report, certainly. We kind of tend to take a sort of light-hearted spin in the news, but this is obviously a very serious story. We do give Rich Swann our best, and for anybody sort of going through a situation like that, it's not nice to read, and it's just not a nice situation all around, but the report does cover it in great detail, so go and check that out. And I guess in the meantime, we'll see with TNA like what they decide to do if and when he chooses to make his return. We will switch gears to end on
a very lighter note.
Yeah, a very lighter note, and like a lighter note in a quite a dark time as well. For those that may have forgotten, just one of the all-time celebrity matches took place on a 2021 edition of Dynamite. Jade Cargill made her debut in ring. She was opposing Red Velvet. They were part of a mixed tag team match. On Red Velvet's team was Cody Rhodes, and on Jade Cargill's team was Shaquille O'Neal.
Was Brandy meant to wrestle and that was pregnant? Or
I believe so. I believe so, because they'd obviously done the incredible Brandy Rhodes Jade Cargill promo.
Who the hell? Oh, I'm gonna watch it again today.
An amazing match, like an unbelievable piece of business.
Far better than I thought it was going to be,
AEW just couldn't miss at that time, could they? You know, he was still in a semi-empty Daly's place and all that, and yet just this magic night. For those that don't remember, there was one spot towards the end of the match. It was being set up for Jade Cargill to beat Red Velvet, so you needed Cody and Shaq to be out of action. So Cody did a running dive on Shaq, and the two of them created about 14 tables. It was unbelievable. So then you see Shaq getting carted off into a Shaq-sized ambulance. And then after the break, they come back in the ambulance, and he's disappeared. It's good. It was like it was never referenced again. It's still kind of in the ongoing global bastard time, so you let a lot of stuff slide, and that was kind of one of them things. But AEW like kind of nailed the pandemic. So like, what's that about? Well, Tony Khan has finally talked about it, and I kind of love his answer. He was on the Dan Le Batard show, and he said, I don't think it serves us well to close the loop, because I think Shaq wanted to leave it open-ended for him to come back. He saw that as being a really good cliffhanger to return, and I think he's right.
Does he think any time now an ambulance shows up, people are going, is Shaq in there?
Wait a second. And like, Tony Khan goes on. People are still talking about it, and it's been 3.5 years. What he was going for clearly worked, because he wanted a cliffhanger that leads to his return. When Shaq is ready to wrestle again, that will be a perfect entry point for him to return to the world of professional wrestling. We loved having Shaq in AEW. I couldn't agree more with Tony Khan. I want an ambulance to back up into a Dynamite, and like somebody's been injured in that. Let's say like a current like top star, or Bryan Danielson's been hurt in the opening segment, and you're like, oh, the ambulance is pulling back up. Here comes Danielson. It's Shaquille O'Neal. I think that'd be amazing scenes.
I honestly, I thought, okay, very good celebrity stuff. Saying I'll take anything to entertain me during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Didn't like Brandy throw a drink on him as well as part of the there was a sit-down promo and stuff.
Yeah.
He was like,
because the build was not great.
What you got a problem with?
The build was not great.
No, but
and then the match,
it was amazing.
Home run.
But I do love the fact that maybe Shaquille O'Neal's there. I'm not having a thing.
Every ambulance from now on.
They just like. I guarantee that conversation happens. Okay, so table bump, you get caught off an ambulance, and that's it. What if we come back and I've disappeared from the ambulance? What? Why?
And like, it's
magic.
That's it, magic.
Wasn't he in a magic film? Wasn't he in a film? I swear he was.
I think it's funny that, like, of all the people as well that could, like, go missing or disappear, Shaquille O'Neal, like, one of the biggest, like, in every respect, one of the biggest, most famous athletes in the world.
It is a very good magic trick.
Yeah. I want myself to double down on the Shaquille O'Neal ambulance law. I want it to be like Royal Rumble 1999. So Steve Austin gets beaten down by the corporation. And then,
I knew he was, Kazam.
Oh, of course, right, yeah.
He's a genie, so he's got them powers. Boom.
He's got the powers. Yeah,
or maybe they rub a lamp and he comes out of it.
No, Steve Austin, man, like, sort of rolling like that. Oh, he's driving the ambulance. Yeah, that's what happens when you go to hospital. You come back driving. You beat up the people that have been stationed to help you. You've taken their vehicle because you got to get back and you got to win the Rumble. That's how I want Shaq to come back. Like, he's just, basically, the ambulance has been trying to get him to hospital. They don't realise he's disappeared. He's reappeared, poof, like a genie. He's beat him up for no reason. They're just trying to do the job, and he's driven the ambulance back.
Maybe he'll be there to cart off whoever loses the coffin match at All In this weekend.
I've heard he's going to be at our live show. Tickets, still available.
God, subject to change. We're making no promises, but I'm fairly certain we've promised CM Punk and Zuchka Okada are going to be there in the past.
You want to be there too. whatculture.com/tickets. Card is subject to change. They will not be there, but we will, along with Simon Miller, the whole What Culture team. It's going to be a live show at the Crystal Club between 12 and 1:30. It's perfect. You can get there. You can have a pint. We are so close to Wembley that if you do a dot next to an aerial shot of the map, it actually overlaps with one of the Wembley entrances. 12 to 1:30. There's going to be plenty of time for meet and greet afterwards, and then like right around doors. Will probably, like, I'm a writer, I should be able to remember words, but like when people leave in a big group, what's that called?
Well, for the last time, rig ourselves a cowboy and a beautiful sight. We're all going to walk over.
It's going to be brilliant.
It's going to be like, the famous elite thing with being led. We're going to lead people over there.
All in. Danielson retires or wins the title, and me, straight home. I say straight home, I'm not. I'm joining 50,000 people in an enormous tube queue.
That's where you're going wrong. You should just go back to Crystal Club, mate.
Why?
Well, because that is where Sweet Disco, the Dutch night that I've organised. No, Sweet Chin Disco.
There's going to be some drinks and some other things imbibed.
It's going down immediately after All In. It's going to be so much fun. I'm hosting. I'm going to be so buzzed for that. Max Caster's going to do a rap. Prince Nana's going to do a DJ set. Shaq's going to be there potentially. maybe not, probably not. But there will be some potential special guest appearances. But I've been told by Sam explicitly to stop talking about it.
Stop this.
Not say any more. Yeah. Tickets have sold out for Sweet Chin Disco, but you are in luck because there will be a limited number of tickets available on the door. So you might as well swing by and try and get in. You may have to wait a while, but it's going to be bloody worth it because it's going to be an awesome night. I can't wait for this Sunday.
Hulk Hogan's not welcome because it is hot.
whatculture.com/tickets for our show. But let us know your thoughts on everything we've discussed in the comments section below. And you're thinking, bloody hell, these two are bloody lazy today. This news gone out a bit bloody late. It's because of the afternoon, you bloody idiot. The morning news right here. Bye.